Leaders should give to their burned out team. Plus, you know this, it's your show, so we take your calls. And here's the good news, it all starts right now. All right, welcome to the Ken Coleman Show. Thrilled to have you with us. We're coming to you live from our Ramsey Solutions studios in Nashville, and you've joined a conversation about you, specifically what you were born to do. You were created to fill a unique role. You are needed, and that means that you must do it. Somebody out there needs you to show up and be the best version of you. So we're going to help you dive into that. What does that look like? Where are you? Are you somebody who has no idea what that work is, what a dream job could be? Or are you a person who knows what it is, but you're not sure how to get there? Or maybe you're in the third group of people. You know what you were created to do. You know how to get there, but finances, failure, past failure, or family is holding you back. Regardless, there is a process, there is a clear path. They are the 7 stages, and we'll walk you through where you are and what to do to get to the next stage. Get clear, get qualified, get connected, get started, get promoted, get the dream job, give yourself away. 844-747-2577 is the phone number to jump in. It's a free call. 844-747-2577. Okay, so what's the real reason that you aren't feeling joy in your work? You aren't happy in your work? Now, there are a myriad of reasons, and depending on who I'm talking to, the list would be different. But I'm talking about what's the foundational issue. The foundational issue as to why you aren't experiencing joy at work. And I'm going to tell you what it is. It's very simple. You aren't producing results through your work that connect to your heart. You might be good at your job. You got talent, but you don't love the work itself. You might be okay with the work. You're like, oh, I'm okay with it. I don't love the work, and then I don't connect deeply to the result of work. So I'm just going to tell you, point blank, I did sports radio and television for a season when I started out. And it did. The reason I'm not in that is because that was not creating a result, that connected deeply to my heart. I had fun with it. But I didn't want to entertain. I wanted to encourage. I didn't want to just entertain. I wanted to equip people. And so that's the type of show I do now. That move into this type of broadcasting was completely driven by the result, mission. So if you look at the 3-part methodology that I teach so that you are clear on what it is you were created to do, it is talent. I must use what I do best. It is passion. I must do work I love. It is mission. I must create results that matter deeply to me. When all 3 are in alignment, talent, passion, mission, then all of a sudden, I'm in the zone. I'm experiencing flow. People look at me and say, you are doing what you were created to do. There it is right there on the screen. Look at that. That's as simple as it gets. When all 3 of those pieces come together, you are on purpose. Now look at that model. That's pointing somewhere. Where is it pointing? To many different jobs or career paths and even dream jobs. That's the beauty of this. You shouldn't have all this pressure. Oh, what's the right thing? I don't want to mess up. You don't need to mess up. You won't mess up if you're clear on what it is you're supposed to do. So now let's look at this idea that the real reason you're unhappy is this missional piece. You don't experience joy in your work because it's not creating results that you say, at the end of the day, this matters deeply to me. In the new book, From Paycheck to Purpose, which comes out November 9th, it's available for pre-order, I actually write about this in the final chapter as we unpack the 7th stage, give yourself away. And I want to read from it very briefly, talking about the greatest explorer the world's ever known, Sir Edmund Hillary. The first man to scale Mount Everest, the first man to then go to the South Pole and the North Pole. And this was what he said as he reflected. There he is with his climbing partner, his Sherpa. They're the first men to ever reach the peak of Mount Everest. And here's what he said later of the moment when they finally stepped to the top. He said, "It showed me that even though I was standing on top of the world," watch this, folks, "it wasn't the end of everything. I was still looking beyond to other interesting challenges. It is said that as he was standing there, that he pointed to another peak to his Sherpa, and he said, this is where we're going next. And that's what happens when we step into the dream job. I'm in my dream job, but I'm not done. I'm expanding my vision. As you've heard me say it many times on this show, we're going up, up, up for a long time. And when we finally step into that dream job, instead of looking up, we are looking out. The dream expands, the vision expands. And this is where I've told you folks, if you follow the 7 stages, you'll make the money, income, and you'll make the impact, the difference in the lives of others that you care so deeply about. Folks, this is doable. We also cite a quote about Ferdinand Magellan, the first man to sail around the globe. And this is what was said of Magellan's voyage and how significant it was. Now, catch this. Watch this. The real significance of Magellan's voyage, the first person to circumnavigate the planet, the real significance of that voyage was not that it was the first to circumnavigate the planet, but that it was the first to realize just how big the planet was. Wow! I get goosebumps when I read that. Think about it. When we finally step into the fullness of who we are and we are in our sweet spot, using our talent to perform our passion, to produce our mission, to use what we do best, to do work we love, to produce results that matter to us, guess what happens? We begin to see how big our impact can be. Same concept as what Hillary saw at the top of Mount Everest. What Magellan's voyage sent to the rest of the world is that the world is way bigger than we realize. And here's what I want you to get. When you step into that dream job, you step into it and you begin to see the world differently. You see the size of the impact you can make. It changes everything. Now, one little nugget here. When I talk about the size of your impact, do not fall prey to comparing your impact to someone else's impact. This is not about numbers, and it's not about notoriety. It's about expanding your impact, the impact that you were put on this planet to make. Folks, that's what I'm preaching. That's what I'm living, and I'm telling you it's there for you. And so if you're in work right now or you're missing that missional component, here's the good news. It's never been a better time to begin the process to make the switch. Life is too short to show up on Monday and just work for a paycheck. You long for purpose in your work, and we're going to walk with you on the journey. 844-747-2577 is the number. Again, I'm going to point out the new book is a deep dive. We had some people on Facebook going, hey, I listened to the show. Why would I need to buy your book? I listened to your show. Because I barely scratched the surface on the show. If you want a deep dive into all 7 stages that will propel you to living on purpose and maximizing your purpose, get the new book, From Paycheck to Purpose. You can order it now. It comes out November the 9th. We have all kinds of goodies at kencoleman.com. So enough on that. Let's get to the phone, shall we? 844-747-2577 is the number. Beautiful St. Augustine, Florida is where we start off with Kevin. Kevin, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
I'm living the dream, Kevin. What are you doing?
Excellent. Well, called you today because on Thursday I have my first ever virtual interview.
All right.
I'm 37 years old and I've never been on one.
Well, you know what? The good news is you've been on a lot of job interviews, yes or no?
That's correct. Yes,
yeah.
Sir.
So here's the deal. Instead of sitting knee to knee with them or 5 feet away from them, you're going to be looking at them on a computer screen, and you've done lots of Zoom calls and FaceTime calls, yes or no?
Yes.
All right. So bottom line is, I get it. It's weird. But at the same time, I would get really comfortable with where the camera is, and I would treat that camera just like you're looking into the eyes of a human being, and you're going to see them on the screen anyway. And so I would connect with them, look them right in the eye, just like you would in real life. How can I help with this? Anything else? Did you just need me to give you that pep talk, or you got something specific I can help with?
It's so weird. Like, I don't even, it's like I've gone blank. Like, I don't even know what to wear. Should I call HR and ask them like, what the uniform is?
Yes. Great question. So here's the deal. You treat the virtual interview just like you would a real interview. What do they wear in the office? If they wear polo shirts and, just your normal Oxfords or whatever, do the same thing. Don't dress up in a tux. Don't wear a suit and tie at your house. Dress like you're already there. And let me also tell you, I would recommend you stand for the interview. So if
okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
man, get that computer, get it up. Your energy's going to be better.
Okay.
And so, get your legs and into the interview, man, because you're going to have a better energy there. So bend your knees a little bit, move while you're talking. You're just looking at them, but it's okay to move back and forth just like you would be standing talking to them. Just be natural is my point. Stand and get that camera up high. Get it a little bit above your eyebrow so you got a flattering angle, and it's coming right at you, and look right at them, and just stand and talk, man. Stand and deliver. That's all you got to do.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I needed. Thank you.
Yeah, one other little tip.
Good
This
strategy.
is actual science proves this, that when we smile, you can go do your own research on this. When we smile, even a fake smile. So you could be nervous, ready to throw up in a job interview, but if you look at the interview and you do one of these numbers and it's fake as all get out, even that right there, your brain doesn't know. Brain is a rather dumb instrument, by the way. The brain just does what we kind of tell it to do. You've made way more control over your brain than you realize. And so here's the deal. A fake smile sends a chemical through your body, and it makes you feel better. And so when I'm doing it, if I were you and you're nervous and you're doing a virtual interview, I'd be like this. I would look for opportunity to smile. When they're talking, smile, nod your head, And listen, what you don't want to turn into, though, is a bobblehead doll. If you turn into a bobblehead doll, now they think you're nuts. So there you go. Couple basic tips. Point is, don't overthink it. Just stand there and be real and be enthusiastic, and it's going to come through. 844-747-2577 is the number. Dean joins us now. In Kansas City, the timing of this call is kind of fun since the Titans whooped up on the Kansas City Chiefs here in Nash Vegas. Dean, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Great to talk to you. I appreciate you taking the call.
You bet.
Yeah, I was out of town, so I didn't get to see the whooping.
Well, it's probably good. It was so ugly. You would have had to hide the kids' eyes. It was such a beatdown. It was just ugly. But we're all about you today. What's up?
Hey, well, I'll give you a 37,000-foot level.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to become a professional pilot since I was 6 years old, and me and my dad would be down on the banks of the river watching the planes come in, and I said I was going to do that one of these days.
That's awesome.
Well, went through college for mechanical engineering, and it's just wasn't really that fulfilling because I've always wanted to fly.
Yeah.
So did that for a few years, and went to flight school, got all my ratings, instructed for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Then the economy took a turn for the worse in obviously 2008, and kind of got out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's always been on the forefront of my mind, get back into it. Well, got back into it, and have enough hours, and I sent out my application, and I received an interview with a regional. Right before COVID, I was hired on. COVID hit, and it went to the wayside again. Well, I wanted to stay involved, continued to fly, off and on, put my application back out there, got picked up by another regional.
Okay.
I start my training on November 17th in Dallas, and then that's for a week, and then go to Phoenix for 3 months for flight training. Here's the dilemma. I'm a little on the older side. I'm leaving. I would be leaving a great job, and I would need to put in today I was going to put in my notice. But I'm leaving a job that I get paid fairly well at, but I'm not fulfilled.
Why is that a dilemma? You just spent 2 minutes telling me and the entire audience how many times you've dabbled, you've actually been in the dream job, flying. And I understand all of the bumps in the road and the detours. You spent telling us you took us to a beautiful moment where you and your dad were by the water and you'd watch planes fly, and you've always wanted to do it. You've experienced it. You've done it before, and you can do it again. What's the dilemma?
I think leaving the income.
What did you do last time? Is this income any different than what you made before when you flew?
Well, I instructed, and it was part-time, so I was working during the day and flying after work and on weekends.
Okay, so you've never done it. You've never done it full time.
Full time, exactly.
All right. So what's the difference in pay?
Well, for the first couple years, it's significant.
Okay.
I would be probably taking I'm guessing about half, probably 50% pay cut, which I can handle that. And then I thought for supplementing my income, I thought maybe, I could consult or something with what I, on the time that I'm not.
Love it. I don't think there's a dilemma at all. I think you've already come up with where I was going to go in my line of questioning, which is how long would it take you to get back up? How many years would it take you to get back up to close to where you are now financially?
I think probably about 3 years until I could make captain with my hours. I could make captain in probably a year to 14 months.
Okay, so is that, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm clueless, so I rely on you.
No,
so in 14 months you can make what you're making now, or close?
I could make captain, which would increase, and then once I got that, I could move on to one of the major airlines,
all right,
which
Dean,
obviously then would be a bigger jump.
Okay, so Dean, here's what I'm hearing. I heard from you. You've always wanted to fly.
Yes, sir.
Since you were a boy. You've experienced enough of it to confirm that. This is not a delusion. You've actually done your homework. You've done it. You've been qualified for it, and you love it. Is this a true statement, what I just said?
Very true.
Okay, great. The other thing I learned is that you're in a job right now that pays you well, but it's very unfulfilling, and it may be leading down the path of being soul-sucking. Is that still a true statement?
Yes, if it's not already.
I thought so. I can hear it all over you. You sound like Eeyore, and you're not supposed to be Eeyore. You're supposed to be Tigger, and you're Tigger when you're flying in the friendly skies, aren't you?
Absolutely.
There we go. All right. Final thing that I heard, that you've already done your homework, and between your current financial discipline, your status right now, that you could do some side stuff, probably make enough money, and you can absorb the pay hit for a 3-year period until you get back where you were. And more importantly, as you, in your final season of work, that you're going to be doing what you were created to do. Did I also hear that?
Yes.
Then, Dean, I don't think there's a dilemma. I would say that you're dealing with good old-fashioned fear, and I've been there, dude. And there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just afraid that this is a dumb move or this is going to set you back. Am I right?
Exactly. And that was the last part is it's a fear of the unknown.
I get it.
It's a feel of failure.
Yep. But hold on. Great. So we don't need to talk about that anymore. No more Eeyore on this call. Because, yes, you have been dealing with the fear of the unknown and the fear of failure, but didn't we just walk through and put those fears on the witness stand? And did we find any evidence that those fears are telling the truth, Dean?
Yeah, you're right.
I need a gavel in here for these calls. I need a wooden gavel so I can go, boom, I've ruled. Fear is lying to you. There is no evidence that these fears are telling the truth. They cannot be substantiated. I am dismissing this case. Dean, take the job, man. Resign today and get back up in the clouds. Am I right or am I wrong, Dean?
You could not be more right, buddy.
There we go. Well, man, can I just tell you, thank you for calling, because this is the reason I get up, is to be able to bounce into the Deans of the world who are just dealing with some good old-fashioned fear, and we just got to punch it right in the nose, expose it as it is. It's a lying voice from the pit of hell. Dean, go be you, man, and go do it well. Your best is yet to come. I love that. I absolutely love that. Way to go, Dean. Oh, man, I want to get in the plane with Dean. Like, I don't have the time or the ability to do this, but, like, if I could, folks, I would like to go to Kansas City. I'd be wearing a Titans jersey, of course, just to stick it to Dean and all the Kansas City fans. And I would like to get up in the plane with him and just watch him go from Eeyore to Tigger. By the way, we all have that. We all have those moments where all we're doing is focusing on the negative circumstances and the negative possibilities. Don't miss this right now. Do you know what Eeyore's problem was? By the way, Winnie the Pooh, greatest all-time children's character. I love Winnie the Pooh. I try to teach how to Winnie the Pooh anytime I can. Eeyore's problem was Eeyore was always looking at the negative circumstances. That's the moment, the reality, right? Risk. It's around every corner, right? Possible failure. That was Eeyore. And then he was focusing on the negative circumstances and then the negative possibilities. The worst could always happen for Eeyore. And so no wonder Eeyore was walking around mopey all the time. I know that's how I react when I'm focusing on negative circumstances and negative possibilities. Focusing on negative circumstances and negative possibilities is going to turn you into Eeyore every time. It's impossible not to be Eeyore. Well, I can't find my tail. He finds his tail. I'm going to lose my tail. It's just cycles. And so the reality is we got to lay it out. We got to put fear on trial. We got to put doubt on trial. And we got to see if it's true. And if it's not, then we put it aside and we move forward. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. Hey, folks, we don't have much left in this year, and people are moving. 4.3 million people left their jobs in August. Unbelievable record. People are leveling up. Now's a great time. You want to talk about a buyer's market. If you're looking for a job, now's the time to level up, and we've given you the resources to make sure it's on purpose. But I'm also proud to say that I partnered with ZipRecruiter, the #1 job site in the U.S. There are so many jobs out there, and they're going to make it less yucky for you and far more energizing and informative. So here's the deal. You go to their site, ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Go to that site, ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Fill out a profile. Upload the resume. They begin matching you up to jobs that they've got listed. And better than just pitching you and promoting you, they keep you updated. When someone looks at your site, when someone asks for your contact information and likes your profile, all those things, you're getting updates so you don't feel like you're in the dark. And their candidates are 3 times as likely to get hired. And here's the best part of all of that. It's free. I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm not telling you to buy anything. I'm telling you to sign up for free. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Okay, quick break. Got a lot to get to on the other side of the break, so don't move. We'll be back before you know it. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
Our world is changing, but so are we. Now, we see a smile through someone's eyes. We conquer our struggles and cherish each moment because we're shielded through faith and assured by hope. And greatest of all, we love. The world is different, but so are we.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. Thrilled to have you with us. Hey, we've got another fun live stream event where I'll be teaching from the new book, From Paycheck to Purpose. Tickets start at $10. Good grief. I feel like we're just giving this thing away, but that's all right. It just means that, I'm not going to buy as nice a pair of shoes I would as if I charge you what it's worth. It's worth a whole lot more. You know what I'm saying? No, I kid. It's fun. This stuff is great. Text the word PURPOSE to 33789. Text the word PURPOSE to 33789. Here's when the event happens. Thursday, November 11th, 6:45 p.m. Central, 7:45 Eastern. It'll be coming to you live from our headquarters here in Nashville. We do have very limited seats. I told the team I want a super intimate studio feel. So I think it's like 25 to 30 people is all we're letting in. So if you'd like to join us live, you want to drive up, see the Ramsey show that day, whatever. You want to make it an experience here in Nashville. Boy, the food we got here. Boy, Nashville's becoming a foodie town. So anytime I mention these live events here, if you want to come up and make a trip out of it, do it. Text the word purpose to 33789. Text the word purpose to 33789, and we'll give you a link to show up to the event live, or you can watch it online from Paycheck to Purpose Live, Thursday, November 11th at 6:45 p.m. All right. So the landscape at work is changing rapidly. And I'm staying on top of the trends, the data, so that you all know what's going on, because I am a man of the people. I am here for you. Let's get to it. We're going to take a look in the news. All right, here's the headline from a recent Fast Company article. The one perk leaders need to be giving their burned out teams. This is a bit of an opinion piece. I don't share a lot of opinion pieces, but there's some actual hard data in here that I think is really interesting, and I want to share it. So the one perk leaders need to be giving their burned out teams. What is it? Unlimited paid time off. What? And I'm just going to tell you something right now. Like, Dave Ramsey hears that and like he starts breaking out in a rash. Okay, this is an old school, new school type of conversation. I'm not endorsing this, so don't put words in my mouth. But I want to break this down. This is fascinating. A couple of technology companies and startups started this idea a few years ago. And obviously it became very popular. Now, they did it to attract talent. Think about it. I mean, if you're competing against other technology companies where everybody's getting the stock options, everybody's got the unlimited cafeteria, ice cream buffet machine, all the things these tech companies can offer. So what's a differentiator? So they started this unlimited paid time off concept. In fact, in 2019, MetLife did a survey, and they found that unlimited paid time off was the top emerging benefit that interested employees. In fact, Fast Company just commissioned a new study of 1,700 business leaders, HR leaders, managers, and employees. They found that 64% of manager and non-manager employees rank a flexible and supportive culture over a higher salary. Now, this is where the flexible and supportive culture pops in here, is this benefit of unlimited paid time off. Now, this is generous and obviously very, very popular, but it does not address the total issue, which is really this mental health issue. People feeling like, hey, I don't want to be fried. I don't want to be burned out. So for you leaders out there, if you take on this strategy of whether it's unlimited paid time off or more substantial paid time off, that's not enough. You're going to have to also offer therapy opportunities for people, resources that will help with this. So here's my take on this. It does not go into detail in this article for the companies that have done this, how long they've sustained it. So I'm still going, the jury's out. But I would also say that this unlimited paid time off is clearly tied to performance. And where this is going, which is why I share this, because I've said that I think the 4-day work week is going to be a pretty normal thing in the next 3 to 5 years. Where all this is going is because of this surge of work from home. And then this concept of the 4-day work week, which is already gaining steam, and I think it's going to be implemented by some big time companies soon. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Where all this is going is it's going to come down to, if you get your job done and you deliver, then you'll have benefits like unlimited paid time off. But now here's the deal. For all of you that are listening going, woohoo, this is great. I can just take 2 months off. No, you can't. Because if you don't do your job, they're going to fire you. So this is like, I feel like I'm talking to my teenagers, right? It's like, hey, I'm going to give you some freedom, but with that freedom comes increased responsibility. Freedom, absent responsibility, turns into no freedom. So I don't know where all this is going to play out. But I do think for those of you that are leaders that are listening, I've told you this. I'm going to say it again. The new buzzword, watch. I'm just telling you now. The new buzzword in the business, corporate leadership space is going to be engagement. Engagement. What do I got to do to keep my team engaged so that they don't go somewhere else and so that I get the most out of them? Attracting people is always going to be a major leadership strategy. We talk about it a lot on this program. But engagement, keeping people engaged is going to be huge. Really, really interesting stuff there. 844-747-2577. Okay, I want to do something different. I'm going to call an audible here. I just want to share an email that we got from our Ken Coleman Show Facebook group. You can go join the group. It's a wonderful group. They encourage each other. It's a fabulous community. They just all encourage each other. In fact, they all ask each other questions, and I go in there and look sometimes like, man, they don't even need me. They listen to my advice, and then they just coach each other up. It's fantastic. So go check it out. The Ken Coleman Show is an actual Facebook page, but then we have the Ken Coleman Show group. So anyway, this is an email that Sarah shared. She said, I've always had it in my heart to help people who are hurting. So it was no surprise to me that the Get Clear Career Assessment from Ken confirmed my dream of being a therapist. That was the push I needed to apply for grad school. The timing is right, and I have found the perfect program for my schedule. And this is the best part, she won't have to take out any loans. And then she says this, private practice, here I come. Sarah, that is so awesome. So proud of you for doing your homework, picking the right school, and you're going to fund your way through it. You're not going to be in any debt. That means when you get out of school and you step into this private practice, you're going to be sitting there face to face, knee to knee with people who need your help. And you're going to be fulfilling your purpose, and you're going to be so amazing at it. I'm so proud of you. Thank you also for sharing your story. It's going to encourage so many people. And folks, this is the Get Clear Career Assessment, which is about a 20-minute online assessment that allows you to answer questions that I put together so that if you were sitting with me and I was just asking you questions like I do with callers here on the show, you're going to see what your top talents are, things you do best, what your top passions are, the work you love to do, and your primary missional result, the results that you want to create through your work. You're going to get a detailed report, see where you score on the rest of the universal talent, passion, and mission, and then you're going to get a purpose statement, which becomes for you that arrow going forward. And it shows you this is the direction. These are the mountain ranges that I need to be exploring. This is where I need to be going. I now know that I'm clear on it and I'm confident. So it's a wonderful tool. It works great with the book. How does it work? The Get Clear Career Assessment's the compass, and then the book is the guide up the mountain. So go check it out, kencoleman.com. 844-747-2577 is the number. Let's get back to the phones. Springfield, Missouri is where we go next. Lynette is there. Lynette, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
I'm living the dream, Lynette. What are you doing?
Well, I'm trying not to be too nervous.
Oh, you're doing great. Don't worry. I'm going to take good care of you. What's going on?
All right. So, okay, I have been a stay-at-home mom for the last 7 years now, which I love to do. I love being there for my family, my son.
Hey, let me ask you real quick. I want to ask you really quick. I want you to keep going, but you just made me think of a question. Real quick, what do you love most? I'm not talking the emotional, but the practical, tactical of you wear lots of hats. You work really, really hard. What's your favorite functional work part of being a stay-at-home mom? I'm curious.
I really like the freedom and flexibility.
Yeah, that's an environmental thing. I'm talking about what do you love doing? Of all the things you have to do, what do you love most?
I love being there for my son. After school, being there to help him, after he gets home, calm down, we can go through schoolwork together. When he's off on breaks, I'm there to play with him or go out and adventures and do fun things.
Cool.
Things
all
like
right.
that with him. So
all right, great. I was just curious. I'm taking notes. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm starting to feel financially pressured. Not that anybody's putting it on me except myself, but to start looking for maybe some work or some income. The issue I have is I am one of those people who I'm like, oh, that looks really interesting. And I'm like that for about 2 weeks. And then I'm like, not that. This is interesting. No, not that. This is interesting. This is interesting. Like everything piques my interest for about 2 weeks, and I have a hard time narrowing it down enough without wasting anybody's time by trying things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, let me ask you this. So when you dive in and get interested, Is there a pattern that you can look back on where you go, I'm interested, and then I lose interest, and this is usually when I lose interest, or I find this out or this out or this out? I'm curious. There's got to be some patterns. What do you see about yourself?
The only thing I've noticed is if it just doesn't hold my attention anymore. It's about 2 weeks. If I can get past that,
why is it that do you actually go shadow anybody and talk to anybody who actually does this work, or are you just in the gathering student kind of, I'm curious and I learn about it and then I don't do anything with it. I just learn about it and then I move on?
The gathering. I pretty much stick in the gathering because I'm afraid if I start shadowing people, I'm going to start wasting their time.
Oh, so you got some serious like self-doubt issues you're dealing with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what if I told you that was silly? You're not silly, but that's silly.
I already know.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Is there a pattern, or let me say it different. Is there a thread between all these things over the last whatever time period this has been when you've been learning about all these things? Is there a pattern, a thread between them as the type of work that it is?
Not particularly, because I don't really know where to start. It's just looking at the job boards and things, going, is there something that looks interesting to me? Okay,
tell me what. Give me the last three. Describe it as briefly as you can, because we don't have to dive too deep here.
Right.
Well, the last three things you've been interested in, what were they? Describe them.
Most of them have been in the medical field, but only because there's a lot of openings in that. I don't really think I'm actually interested in that.
No, come on.
No,
you're telling me you looked at all three of these medical things and you only looked at them because they were open. You didn't actually read the job description and go, that's interesting?
I did. Okay, so radiology tech.
Thank you. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, what else?
I've looked a little bit into sales, but I'm not really sure what, because it's mostly because somebody told me they thought I would do a good job. So I'm like, well, maybe I would, and have looked.
Okay, scratch that one. I want to know what you were interested in.
I like being outdoors and I like being around people. That's what I love.
Yeah. But, so let me step back a second.
Okay.
You remember when I interrupted you right at the start of the call and I wanted you to tell me what you love most about being a stay-at-home mom, not the emotional piece and being there to take care of your little guy. Of course, that's a mom. I'm talking about the functional stuff. And when I didn't get a whole lot out of you, but I got enough to say that I think the reason you got intrigued by let's talk about the radiologist tech or whatever, is that you get a lot of juice when you're in the caretaker role. Outside of your son, I'm guessing, tell me if I'm wrong, that you love caring for humans.
I love bringing joy.
Okay, great.
But I could never,
what's your favorite way to bring joy to humans? Say it. Don't try to make it sound pretty. Because that's self-doubt.
No, I'm not trying to make it sound pretty. I've
not true. All right, here we go. I'm purposely interrupting you because I'm trying to keep you from going into doubt. Here's what I want you to tell me. If you could try something tomorrow, outdoors, bringing joy to humans. Okay, it's an outdoor job, outdoor venue, outdoor something. Okay. Think of it right now. I want you to get it in your head. And you were combining working in the outdoors with bringing joy to humans. What would you try tomorrow if you didn't have to commit to it for the rest of your life and you knew you couldn't fail? What would you do, Lynette? Say it. Describe it.
Exploring, like on hikes.
You're telling me you would guide people in nature environments so they could explore and discover things?
Yes.
How, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you enjoy that? Based on what you're envisioning in your head?
I would enjoy it a lot, but I would worry about what I doubt myself on for something like this is learning all of the first aid or
Stop. I know, but that's not what I asked you.
Okay. I would enjoy it.
How much would you enjoy guiding people through nature? A 10. I know. So why don't you look into that? And then don't just look into it. I want you to shadow somebody, go to coffee with somebody, FaceTime somebody, Zoom somebody who's actually doing that and figure out what it would actually take to get in. Because there's no pressure on you right now. But that could be a great gig. Maybe you start part-time and you do some stuff over the weekend when Hubs is home and you balance your time with the little man. This is possible, Lynette. It's very possible for you to be in nature, guiding people, connecting people to fun experiences, and they see you as, oh my gosh, Lynette was the best whatever ever, right? And so, Lynette, that kind of work is out there. But you need to think about all the ways that you can be in the outdoors and also connect with people and bring joy to people. That's the new search. And then don't just search. You've got to talk to people. You've got to shadow people. And when you do that enough, eventually your heart's going to go ding, 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 and it's going to be really clear to you. Lynette, I'm proud of you for facing this. You have so much to offer. Go do that. That's a whole new search, and it is not medical sales. I can just tell you that right now. Go do that. Who's hiring there? If it's going to take a while, that's fine. But that's the space you need to be in. It was as clear as it could possibly be. Don't forget that you told me your heart would be a 10. Now go do it. All right. Fun stuff today. I'm having too much fun. I can't believe I got to quit. But that music means I got to get out of here. Remember this. You matter, and you do have what it takes. Thank you for joining us. This is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.